Hello friends, and I hope everyone is keeping safe and well. Today I wanted to talk about some of the key cost drivers in jewellery. In other words, what causes jewellery prices to increase or decrease. Being a manufacturer, I feel that we need a solid understanding of what drives metal prices and the circumstances it has on our customers, the jewellery designer. Sometimes customers might not understand or appreciate the underlying factors that we have to bear in mind when we create prices for them. And so I wanted to share this information with you, and if you are a jewellery designer, I'm hoping it'll allow you to have a greater awareness of what jewellery manufacturers like ourselves have to take into account when it comes to formulating and presenting prices to our customers. So stay watching, and I hope you find it helpful.
If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm Kim, owner of Tide Design Distributors. We're a third generation family business since 1975, owning our manufacturing plant in Thailand, specializing in producing high-end sterling silver and gold jewelry. We've got our own in-house range, but the majority of what we do is manufacturing exclusively for our jewelry designer customers. We've always had our headquarters in London and recently a support office in the US. Please do get familiar with this channel by watching my intro video, which explains and gives you a better insight about my background in the jewelry industry and the purpose of this channel. Lastly, please don't forget to like or subscribe to the channel for all of the latest tips and videos on jewelry manufacturing.
Let's get straight into it. I kind of put the following cost drivers in order of what I think are the most important. And the first one is the metal price. There are three metal prices that I want to talk about, which particularly relates to our business of jewelry manufacturing: silver, gold, and rhodium. Now with silver, we expect the cost in 2022 to be higher than last year, and this is likely to be driven by a few key factors outside of jewelry. Industrial demand for things like solar panels and other general electrics that use silver is surging and may subsequently drive up prices. While strong demand is pretty certain, the supply side outlook isn't quite so clear. There has been a struggle with the supply of silver since 2016, and we don't know, now that we're in 2022, what challenges we'll be faced with if there are, let's say, a shortage of silver to meet the global demand within the various industries. Bear in mind that silver is generally a byproduct, so miners out there in the mines are typically looking for gold, which has comparatively more value than silver. We cannot just consider the silver grains used for casting and stamping, but also the ready-made components and findings. Chains, for example, earring backs or butterfly fittings, heavier components like T-bars on cufflinks, etc. Those are all exposed to the impact or the volatility in the market value of silver. The second metal price I want to mention is gold, which we feel is more complicated. There are governmental and political aspects connected or related to gold, so things like currency, central bank decisions, and inflation are all influential to the fluctuation of gold prices. Research suggests that as demand is increasing, supply is also expected to rise in 2022, with a potential price increase compared to last year in 2021. Again, it's going to be challenging to see what happens within the next few years. Now, rhodium may not be obvious to everyone, but that's the third metal I've got on my list to talk about, and there's a wider range of potential prices relating to rhodium. Within the jewelry industry, and certainly in my job, we're plating a lot in rhodium, so therefore any price is definitely going to be relevant. Strangely, and totally unrelated to jewelry, the automotive industry plays a large part with the demand and need of rhodium, because the metal is commonly used to make special converters used to reduce harmful emissions. So it's quite an important and an environmentally significant reason for the demand of rhodium for the purpose within the automotive industry. That's the demand, but the supply of rhodium has been tricky. A lot of it comes from countries such as South Africa and Russia, but we've seen labour strikes and COVID-related impacts in South Africa, and with the current events going on in Russia, if there's going to be sanctions implemented to cut it out, then we're likely going to see a price increase for rhodium. Moving away from metal now, I want to talk about the cost of labour as being a key cost contributor. It's fair to say that if we're comparing Western countries to Asian countries, general wages are significantly lower in Asia, but I think we need to be aware that even within Asia, so let's say China versus Thailand, there is a huge focus on workers and their welfare, primarily on minimal wages. This is really critical because companies, depending where they are in Asia, can feel it more. For example, at Tide Design, most of the workers in our manufacturing plant are paid well over the minimum wage set by the government, so there isn't much of a direct impact on us, but certainly other countries could feel it more. And this sort of ties into the next point about general inflation or worldwide inflation, with everything, no matter where you are, being more expensive, whether that's food, cars, your utility bills, etc. It's different for everyone, but we're all under a certain amount of pressure as everything is getting more expensive. And so for us as jewelry manufacturers, it's important that we have a strong awareness about our workers' welfare, such as their wages and rights, because we often get new customers, jewelry designers being very cautious about asking the right questions since they're equally under a huge amount of pressure. Last but not least, exchange rates play an important role. For ourselves, our manufacturing plant is in Thailand and importing from abroad, so factors like the exchange rate can have an impact, sometimes a significant impact. In June 2016, the result of Brexit really made a huge impact, on the pound sterling. And that was one key moment, or a really exceptional event that had somewhat an immediate effect on companies such as Thai Design, where we import from abroad. And whether it's the drop in the dollar or China or dollar to Thai baht, there's different currency dynamics, all depending on where the money is coming from. And even now, 6 years later, where there's stability in, say, the rate of the dollar, there's still volatility, and depending on how each business operates and what they do, that could either be to their advantage or disadvantage. So guys, that's just a few main points that I wanted to share with you. Obviously, there are other contributing factors that can, drive costs up or down, but I felt that these were the more important ones that I wanted you to be aware of, because certainly factors that we, being in the jewelry industry at least, have to be conscious of, especially if they're external factors that are ever changing and beyond our control. We do have to sometimes explain to our customers why prices are what they are. And so hopefully sharing some of this information to you will be helpful for you to bear in mind if you're growing your jewelry brand and or getting price quotations from suppliers. Thank you guys for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest videos on jewelry manufacturing. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.